I froze in the kitchen, my hand trembling around the coffee mug, as Mark's eyes drilled into mine from across the table. "Who is he?" he asked, his voice flat, like a blade slicing through the morning silence. No scream, no fury, just those three words that shattered everything. I'd imagined this moment 100 times, him raging, begging, fighting to keep us together. But there he was, calm as death, and I knew I'd crossed the line he'd drawn years ago, the one I thought was just a bluff. It started innocently enough, or at least that's what I told myself. Mark and I had been married for 8 years, the kind of couple everyone envied. High school sweethearts who build a life in our cozy suburban home with a white picket fence and weekend barbecues. He was steady, reliable, the engineer who fixed everything from leaky faucets to my bad days with a hug and a bad joke. But lately, the spark had dimmed. Work swallowed him whole, late nights at the office turning into weekends buried in blueprints. I felt invisible, a ghost in my own marriage. That's when Alex came into the picture. He was a colleague at the marketing firm, all charisma and easy smiles, the opposite of Mark's quiet intensity. Our flirtations began over coffee breaks, harmless banter that made me feel seen again. "You're too vibrant for this cubicle life," he'd say, his eyes lingering a beat too long. I laughed it off at first, but the compliments filled the cracks Mark's absence had left. One evening, after a team happy hour, Alex walked me to my car. The rain was pouring, and under the umbrella, his hand brushed mine. I didn't pull away. Back home, Mark was waiting with takeout, his tie loosened, looking exhausted but trying. "Rough day?" he asked, pulling me into a kiss. Guilt flickered, but I buried it. "Just the usual," I replied, forcing a smile. That night, as we lay in bed, his arm draped over me. I stared at the ceiling, wondering why his touch felt like an obligation. Alex texted later, "Missed you already." My heart raced. I deleted it, but the thrill lingered. Suspicion crept in slowly, like fog rolling over a lake. Mark started asking more questions, casual at first. How was work? Anyone new on the team? I'd wave it off, but his eyes would narrow slightly, that engineer brain of his piecing together invisible puzzles. One weekend, I told him I had a client meeting and slipped out to meet Alex at a motel on the edge of town. We laughed about the secrecy, tangled in sheets that smelled of cheap detergent. "This is crazy," I whispered, but Alex pulled me closer. "It's real," he said. When I got home, Mark was in the garage, tinkering with his old motorcycle. "Meeting run long?" he asked, wiping grease from his hands. His tone was even, but something in his posture, stiffer, more alert, set my nerves on edge. "Yeah, traffic was a nightmare," I lied, avoiding his gaze. That night, I caught him glancing at my phone when I left it on the counter. He didn't touch it, but the seed of doubt was planted. I started being careful. Separate email for Alex, cash for lunches, alibis stacked like cards. But clues have a way of slipping through. A forgotten receipt in my purse from a cafe, Mark knew I never visited alone. "What's this?" he asked one evening, holding it up like evidence in a trial. My stomach twisted. "Oh, that. Lunch with a client." He nodded, but his jaw tightened. Denial wrapped around me like a shield. I convinced myself he trusted me too much to dig deeper. After all, we'd survived tougher times. His job loss 5 years ago, my miscarriage that nearly broke us. We'd fought through those, emerging stronger. If he found out, he'd fight for me too, right? That's what love does. The anger simmered beneath his calm facade, though I didn't see it then. Alex and I grew bolder, meeting during lunch breaks, stealing moments in his apartment. "Leave him," Alex urged once, his fingers tracing my arm. "We could be happy." But I hesitated. Mark was my anchor. Alex was the storm. I thought I could have both, that the betrayal was just a phase, a way to feel alive again. How naive. One rainy afternoon, I came home early from work to find Mark sitting at the kitchen table, my laptop open in front of him. My heart plummeted. I'd forgotten to log out of that secret email. His face was pale, eyes red-rimmed, but not from tears, from rage held in check. "How long?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I stammered, "Mark, it's not," but he cut me off. "Don't. Just tell me." The truth spilled out in fragments. 6 months, a mistake, I still loved him. Suspicion turned to heartbreak in his eyes. The man I'd known for over a decade, crumbling before me. I told you once, he said, his words measured. Cheating is my one red line. No second chances. I'd laughed it off back then, during a tipsy conversation about deal breakers. You'd fight for me, I teased. He hadn't smiled. Now I saw why. He didn't yell, didn't throw things. Instead, he stood, closed the laptop, and walked to the bedroom. I followed, pleading we can fix this. Counseling, anything. But he packed a bag methodically, like he was solving an equation. Anger flashed when I grabbed his arm. Don't touch me. But it was fleeting, replaced by a cold resolve that terrified me more than fury ever could. By evening, he was gone. No dramatic exit, just the door clicking shut behind him. I collapsed on the floor, sobs racking my body, denial giving way to the collapse of everything. Texts went unanswered, calls straight to voicemail. When I showed up at his office the next day, security escorted me out. He'd changed the locks on our home by week's end. Our home, now just a house echoing with memories. Alex tried to console me, but his arms felt wrong, hollow. I ended it with him soon after, realizing the thrill was never love, just escape from my own emptiness. Mark filed for divorce quietly, no contest, no alimony demands. He erased me as efficiently as he'd built our life. Social media unfollowed, mutual friends informed with polite detachment. I heard through the grapevine he'd moved to a new city, started fresh. No looking back. Heartbreak lingers like a scar, raw and aching. I replay those moments, the subtle clues I left, his growing silence, the way trust evaporated like mist. I crossed that red line, thinking he'd chase me across it, fight to pull me back. But he didn't. He just walked away, leaving me to face the void I'd created. In the quiet nights, I wonder if he ever thinks of me, or if erasure was his mercy. Either way, it's a lesson etched in pain. Some lines, once crossed, sever everything forever.